What is up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I'm back with my own new review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. We're at the third and final part of the reunion. And after this, there'll be no more Love and Marriage Huntsville. I have heard that they're filming. There's no telling if that they're going to get picked up for a new season, because what will be y'all main storyline? What will y'all bring to the table now that Melody isn't here? How will y'all navigate from a show that she pretty much created for you guys to have this opportunity that y'all can now take and actually make something out of it without her being the focal point? I just want to know. So we are back with Trish and Martell, wondering on whether or not something might have happened between them. Martell made a joke by saying we did sleep together. That's the part that Ken was bothered by, because he don't like the way he's playing on what wasn't done and what could have done. And people will believe him if he is joking like this, and he don't like it. But for me though, Ken, whether or not Martell made a joke or not, Trish allowed it. Trish did not make it any better by admitting something might have happened. It was a long time ago. Don't feed into it. It wasn't what it was. That was on her. One who had the power to admit what might have happened, what didn't happen before it got to this point. And nothing else. After he told Martell that he didn't like that Martell was making a joke out of it, and Melody got messy, and I was here for it, by saying to Martell, you ain't got nothing to say to him? I mean, he just called you out about how he don't like the way you're playing on what might have happened between you and Trish. And you ain't got nothing to say to this man? You got nothing to say? Because you get in everybody else's face. And when I mean everybody else's face, I mean you get in all the women's faces. Okay, but you have nothing to say to him. Nothing at all. Do I think that Martell's afraid of Ken? No. But I feel like, do he think he owes Ken anything? No, because he doesn't really know Ken. But in the day, he defended himself with saying he hasn't been disrespectful. He's not Maurice. He's not Marceau. So why would I defend myself with someone who hasn't been disrespectful? Even though he did get riled up because Melly did say something to him, and you know that Martell will definitely act out to prove Melody's point, because it's Melody. He want to prove to Melody that he's not about something, that he will do something. So when she whispered to Tisha and said, "You think I gassed him up a little bit? You think I did it? It worked. It showed it worked. Watch this." So Carlos wanted Martell to apologize for making jokes, insinuating that something might have happened. He denied it and said, "What joke did I make?" Maurice wanted to call him out and said, you did just make a joke." He checked Maurice and said, first of all, when Melody was talking, you had nothing to say. So shut the fuck up when I'm talking. Ooh. And what did Maurice do after he was told to shut the fuck up? He did exactly that. Shut the fuck up. Even Kimmy was quiet. And I'm like, Kimmy, right here, you could have defended your husband and told him, Martell, don't come at us because you got called out. Don't do that. Don't disrespect my husband. But no, Kimmy just sat right there, quiet as a church mouse, not saying nothing. Why? Because he would have revealed what he knows about Maurice. He would have revealed what Maurice might have been doing when he was supposed to be coming home to you after hitting the pole. Make it make sense. Okay. So while that was happening, Nail getting all loud, telling Martell, don't shout in my ear. Calm the hell down. He said, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep on shouting. You can switch places. They go back and forth, knowing how quickly Nail gets and goes back and forth with Martell. And she ain't annoyed going back and forth with this man. Like, this isn't nothing new. We've seen it happening time and time again, just like in Houston. This is what they do all the time. So when they calm down, he apologized to Nail and Chris, and Nail just stop talking. How is it that you can easily calm down after he just got loud, not to you, but he was in your ear, and you just accepted him saying sorry, but you want to hold so tightly on what Melly might have said? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. And I shout out to Lexi. If anybody has watched any of Lexi's recent chapters of her relationship between Nell and Chris, her first chapter was about Nell and the way that she spoke about how angry Nell was while growing up. I believe it, because Nell gets angry too fast. She gets loud too fast. And that's why Chris didn't say nothing, because he knew if he would have calmed her down, she would have yelled right at him. That's Nell, girl. It's crazy as hell to me. But trying to get Martell to take accountability for the comment he made was how he said Trish was not cute enough from the first time he met her to the new time that he reached out to her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he did admit from the first time I saw her many years ago, she did not look the same when I reached out to her in her DM. But he didn't want to answer or whether or not he said it. We know you said it, Martell. You said it in front of the fellas that you did reach out to her, but she looked different from her picture, and you felt like, oh, that's not it. Just keep it a buck. Now, Ken, you want to say that's cap? Beauty's an eye of the beholder. While you can say your girl is beautiful, somebody else might not agree with that. But Ken, you did allow for him to say that to your face, and you never said anything. Once he said Trish wasn't as cute as he thought she was from her pictures to in person, you should have said, well, hold on now. Now, I know you might have had y'all little tryst a long time ago, but that's my girl now. And my girl is very beautiful. You didn't do that, Ken. You stayed quiet. Either way, moving forward from there, as far as what transpired with the DM, I don't know what happened. Obviously, Carlos was trying to beat around the bush to ask the questions and not really ask the questions. Melody wasted no time. She took full charge and talked about, no, and asked Chris about the plot that he was on the phone with Martell at the gym, scouting for women. Was that true, Chris? Were you on the phone with Martell at the gym and describing Trish so he can look up her on the internet? Is that what you did? Now, Martell is telling Chris, ignore it. Nell is telling him, you better not ignore shit. Tell the truth right now. Why are we playing? Why are we acting like we have not heard the plot already? So now they're on a reunion stage. We don't want to hear the plot again when we've already heard it before. What's there to lie about? So he repeats it again. He was on the phone with Martell, asking if there are any girls there. He recognized a girl he sees all the time and told her about it. He said he told her whole name, and there was that. But you also said you didn't know her last name. You only knew her first name or her first name, but not her last name, something like that. And now it's always at the gym. And why didn't we dive into how the relation that Chris and Trish have? Because it's not clear. You're saying that you knew her because she was related to you by, she's related to you on your mother's side, but we never got the full breakdown of that. Because you act like you didn't know her, but you know her, and then you knew who she was because you seen her all the time. Lies. All this is a bunch of lies right now. Okay. So once he reached out to her in the DMs, did you not find it odd that he sent you over to the house to train and not a gym? Or did you not understand the intentions that he was sending out to you? She said, well, we were supposed to go to a clubhouse. That's what I thought when I saw the address, when I saw where the houses was. It's a nice ass neighborhood. So I just figured we go to the clubhouse. Even though you said you trained people at their houses before, but you never mentioned that y'all was supposed to go to a clubhouse, Trish. You never said that. You pretty much said in the beginning we were supposed to work out and train, but then we end up having a conversation about how he loves his wife, he misses his family. Where did the clubhouse come from? That don't make no sense. Lies altogether. And asking him was, no, asking her, was Martell married at the time? I think Ken asked, was he married though? She said she didn't find out until she got to the house. That's a fucking lie. How did you say you had no knowledge of their marriage whatsoever? Huntsville, Alabama sounds like a very small town where there's news about somebody. If there were news about Martell cheating, knowing that he was married to Mel, then there would have been some news about Martell and Mel being married. Hell, they were on magazine covers. And there was pictures of them on social media. And it's like, there's no TV in Huntsville. There is no social media. Hell yeah. You are lying. There should have been at some point the knowledge of knowing that Melanie and Martell were married. That's a fucking lie. And as well as you've known Destiny and Stormy, you knew about Melanie and Martell's marriage. Stop fucking lying. Now, she used the fact that because she was going through a whole lot of deaths, she never watched a lot of TV. Ken said, I never watched the show. I don't believe you because we all know your background of being an actor and a model. You know about TV productions, so you can miss me with that. And you are the reason why Trish is on this show, because you wanted her to be a part of this show so you could be on this show. So you have very well knowledge of it. So y'all can miss me with that. But he's still calling out Martell for putting out the perception of her being seen as a loose woman. Then why not ask her? Why would she go over to his house if there was no other intentions? Ask her. Why is such a hard thing for her to admit whether or not she fucked him or not? It's not that hard to do. And then we need to go back to how she was over there a couple of times. Make that make sense. And then the argument they had in the finale episode. He calls out Trish trying to gaslight him and trying to push his buttons when she should have been honest and truthful about everything. So let's talk about her antics though, and how she goes for the low blows, him getting pissed off. He compares it to how Marceau goes low. And it is the fact, it is the truth. And even though same things being said, it was before him. She never told him the truth. But yet she still beats around the bush to get the answers. This is what you guys have been dealing with all season. And you say you trust her 100%, and they've been together for 3 years. This is the one thing she did not tell the truth about. This is the one thing she never confided in me about. That should be a problem. And also, you found out that she gave her husband a message that she'll take him back in a heartbeat before you guys got together. That's problematic right there. Trish has never been completely honest about the things she said and done while y'all been together. This should have been a whole different turnaround of how you used to trust her to how you really don't trust her as much. Because why would she lie about something so trivial like this? Because it was before you, but why lie about it? Why? And he wanted Martell to give an apology for what might have been, what could have been. He felt like in the beginning, I really didn't want to talk about it. That's why I act like I didn't know her, because yes, she looked different. I did reach out to her in the DMs. Yes, I did find out about her on social media. But other than that, nothing happened between us. So once I said nothing happened, everybody kept asking questions. Everybody kept on wanting to know what's going on when I didn't want to talk about it. So yeah, I made a joke here and there because I got annoyed with it. And you know who kept on asking questions? Scott's 1.0 and 2.0. That's who kept talking about it. And why aren't we asking them? Why did y'all assume this might have happened around this time? Why did y'all say this and why did y'all say that? There was more that could have been added at this point of the segment, but no. All we got was here. Another part of their package was her dealing with her estranged husband, Marquez. That's been a roller coaster of him trying to be a present father and trying to move forward, but he cannot accept the fact that he did leave his family and that he's blaming Ken and Trish for him not being as close as he used to be with his kids. So we wanted to give Marquez an opportunity to clear up the opinions or perception of how he's not been an active father. He said he's been a present father, but he's blaming Ken and Trish for ostracizing him and excluding him from being present. How did they do that? How? I think he was about to answer, but we got the year that they got married, which was 2006. When did he leave the house and move to Atlanta? That was in October 2021. But apparently, he wasn't staying at the house. He had an address, but he wasn't living there. He was living somewhere else. That's confusing yet again, because we're trying to hear the answer as to why he feels like Ken and Trish have excluded him from being a father. Again, instead of him answering or the way that they edit out, he's talking about how they've had inappropriate conversations before he left the house back in 2017. And he said back in 2017, we were good, but he's sending you emojis and how he want to lick you like a chocolate bar. And it's like, Marquez, stay on topic. Stay on topic. We're trying to talk about how you feel they are removing you, not including you into being part of your kids' lives. Let's stay there. Calling him out about how he don't come around, he don't see his kids. Ken want to brag that he gave his son his car to drive to Atlanta to spend time with Marquez on his birthday. That's a pretty big gesture. You allowed what? Your son was what, 17, 18 at that time to drive 3 hours to Atlanta to come see you? You couldn't come and see him? Why couldn't you plan a weekend? Like he said, I've always tried to make time. I'm spending time. I've always tried to make sure I'm spending time with my kids. So we hear Trish asking Marquez, when was the last time he saw his children since Melody's event? He said, she answered, it was about 3 times. So don't act like you've been present when you have not been present. They're still going back and forth. Marquez wants to put Ken in his place of only being a bonus parent. You're not their father, so you don't need to worry about doing anything else but just being there for her. But what else is he supposed to do, Marquez? If he's there for her as well as for the kids, he is going to step up and do things for them if you're not going to. So he said, I talk to my kids daily. Typical Kimmy, chiming in, wanting to know, asking questions by saying, it sounds like if only talking to them is doing something, then what else are you doing? Do you pay for dance? Do you pay for any school activities? Ken and Trish want to say absolutely not. He don't pay for shit. Now, Maurice is telling her not to get involved, but what else is she going to do, Maurice? She does want to talk about your situation, but she wants to talk about somebody else's situation. And let's be clear, Kimmy did have a point of asking that because that's what she dealt with. We all know Kimmy was a single mother, but we don't know what she went through by not receiving support from Jalen's father. But we have seen how she don't get support from raising Maurice's child when he did just dump all of the responsibilities as he's supposed to have by raising his own son onto her. That's what we've seen Kimmy suffering, raising another man's child by herself, knowing that she's married to the father. Still, to this day, she still has not gotten appreciated for doing all the discipline, for doing all of the responsibilities that he's supposed to have done when he brought his child into the relationship. Oh, I can go on and on about that, but that's not about them because they don't want to talk about them. We're going to move on because it's like, what else are you supposed to do? Talking to him doesn't do anything. It's a mess. They're still going back and forth. He still wants to provide the degree of separation about you can't replace me as their father. For you to say being a father is there for monetary value, that's not it. You're not their father because you provide money. No, he's not their father because he provides money. He is a bonus parent because he's providing stability. He's providing consistency. He's there. He's present. But again, it's been said before, Marquez, he cannot take over your job, but you have to be there as well and accept the help. If there are things you cannot do, Ken can do. Why are you mad about Ken doing it, but you're not doing it? And Ken is going to air him out about how you haven't done shit. We give you money, you borrow from your son, you are a bum. That was cold. He's not taking accountability because he wants to reflect all those times when they were together, all those years they were together, he was their father. Okay, Marquez, I have said this before. You are their father. Can't nobody take that away from you. But we're not going to act like you didn't leave your family because you did. You meant it. You left for a year and some change. And then you thought you can waltz back in like nothing happened. And you thought everything was going to stay the same. No, it changed. So you need to accept accountability on your part. And let's also not get it twisted. Once Marquez left, Trish picked up the pieces and raised her children for that time before Ken came into the picture. Trish was good. She was an engineer, so she was able to take care of her and her children. So we're not going to act like Trish was struggling down and out, didn't know what to do because she needed a man to save her. She needed a man to be there for her and her two kids. No, she did it on her own. And once Ken came into the picture and acted up and stepped up like he's going to be that man, that's what he did. So what's the status of their divorce? It's been filed. He said he didn't receive any paperwork. He had over 30 days to receive any notice, no notice. So they're still married. And it's now February and they're still married, I guess, going through the divorce process. Ken said, I don't have no beef with you. Marquez said, I have beef with you in real life because you're the bonus guy. You're not their father. Okay, Marquez, what do you want out of this? Kimmy again is asking, what do you want him to do? Did you not expect for him to come into their lives and do things for them? Did you not expect for him to fall in love with your children, create a relationship with them? It would have been different if she did bring him around and he didn't do shit for your kids. That would have been the issue because she knows she comes with a package deal and he was okay with it. He showed up and did things for her and her kids. So what's the problem? I feel like Marquez having a hard time accepting the fact that he left his family and he doesn't know how to get it back. And he doesn't know how to accept the fact that he can't have it the way it used to be anymore. Because it's something up there in the brain that is just not matching the reality. It's not matching what he's done. It's something up there that's getting all twisted and conjumbled. It's something there. So he talks about how he has the discernment of God, believing that this is not the right man. And now he has an audio of Ken saying he ain't shit. Okay, could we play the audio? But I feel like even if we play it, it's not going to take away how you've been presenting yourself. Now, I did not watch his interview with Queen Sheba. He has two parts. I might give it a hear just to hear any difference in Marquez because it's just a lot of back and forth, a lot of confusion. And then he said, so he decides to take a jab at Ken by saying he can't have children. And Ken said, okay, well, DNA don't make you a father. That's when Marquez says to him and says, are you serious? What you mean DNA make me a father? Sometimes it's not all about that though, Marquez, because it's all about what you do once you become a parent. And once you are a parent, you're there for the good and the bad. You don't ever leave once it gets hard. You're there for all the life lessons. You're there for the cries, the pain, the laughter. The examples we got on this stage should definitely give you or what not to do as a father, especially Scott's 1.0, 2.0. We got a father over here who didn't even know his own son was allergic to peanut butter and also didn't even know his own son was taking senior portraits. We got Carlos walked over to him to calm him down to say, we want you to explain your side because Marquez is getting frustrated into believing that he's getting shut down, that everything he says is wrong. So he wants to explain. It could be a possibility the way that they edited and chopped at this segment. It looked like he wasn't there. It looked like he was just saying things that were weird and contradictory, but it's like a back and forth on Marquez. The things you have said did not make sense. The things you have said has caused confusion and has caused us to question. Same with Ken and Trish. The things they might have said or done have caused confusion and wanted to know what was said, what was meant. It's the same thing. Like, it's a possibility that they have presented to make him out to be a negative person, presented him out to be not a present parent, but it also falls in line to how they've been presenting as well. So thinking that we're going to get more into this, now Carlos wants to ask, so do you have a crush on Mel? As if we care about that, because we don't. He said it's not a crush, more of an admiration. He wanted to get to know Melody more on the business side. Melody agrees, because it's been the same conversation she's had with him. He wants to elevate from the business. That's all it was. Ken wanted to have a moment by saying, don't fall for a Mel. He gonna do what Martell did, try to get his powers, try to get at you. But Melody said, I haven't gone. I haven't agreed to do anything. So it's not the same thing. Ken, sit down. Please sit down. You cannot place the same naiveness that your girl displayed when she answered a DM from a man she claims she don't know, versus the same thing will happen with Mel. Mel has more discernment, more morals about herself to just accept whatever he tells her. Good night, Ken. Yeah, Marquez was like, why do you care if she fucked with Martell? Why do you care? He said, it don't matter. It was before me. But she lied to you. She doesn't want to marry you. She played in your face. I got to give Marquez this because he did exactly what Trish did. She did lie to you. She did play in your safe. I mean, she did lie to you. She did play in your face. She do not want to marry you. That's a fact. All you can say was, okay, okay. And why didn't we get that question? Why didn't we ask Trish, what is the status of their relationship? Why didn't we ask, have you guys have gotten counseling? Why didn't we ask, what is the next step for you guys on the way of getting married? Or what have you guys decided? Why didn't we ask those questions? Okay. But again, a lot of back and forth about how she should have gotten a divorce years ago, but he didn't want the divorce. He wanted to fight for his marriage, but you never had the conversations. I ain't got time for this again. Y'all both getting on my damn nerves. And the gaslighting thing about how she needs counseling. No, all three of y'all need counseling. All three of y'all need to heal. Both of y'all are stuck and I want to get a divorce and I got an issue, but I don't care. Moving on. Carlos told him, don't worry about what's on the other side of the couch. Focus on you and your children. He wanted to add Melody in the mix and say, let us know what's going on between you and Mel. So Carlos decided to give Marquez the centerpiece flowers on the table as a way for Marquez to give Melody her flowers, because he has shouted out Mel and has given her a lot of kudos. And he gave her the flowers, got down on his knees to properly invite her to have conversations about business. And it was cringy. It was weird. And she gave him a hug. He even shook Martell's hand, wanted to know he ain't got no problems. Of course, Martell didn't have a problem with Marquez doing that because he knows Mel don't want him. So he ain't feeling no type of way about that. But good night and goodbye. I'm done with that. Oh God, I'm happy that's over and done. So now we get the girls trip. We're finally talking about the girls trip, which was the majority of how the second half of the season started off with. They had like over 5 episodes of this damn girls trip. And how we saw the most with Tisha and Kimmy talking about the rooms, with Nell arguing and complaining over a name card. Destiny trying to have a moment with Mel. Everybody had a good time except for Miss Nell and Destiny because of all the drama. Well, y'all pretty much was a part of the drama. Y'all started the drama, especially you, Miss Nell. First day there, you yelling and screaming, being drunk, upset about a name card, acting as if you didn't have a room, but you had a room. Destiny, nobody cares about your feelings because you weren't an invited guest. You were a +1. Okay? Tisha, for you to be so upset about a room and says it solidifies why Mel treats you the way she treats you, how she sees y'all the way she sees y'all, it's ridiculous. Because you want to cash in that you were an OG and would have gotten a better room. News fucking flash. The offer was given to y'all about getting a better room, but y'all didn't take it. And I felt like it was very unappreciative and a fuck you to Mel while you're standing inside of a huge ass mansion that you did not put no end on to say, I expected more. Expected more of what? You're in St. Thomas. You got a free trip. in a big ass mansion, getting chefs preparing your meals. What the fuck are you complaining about? You're not living at the mansion. You're staying there for a couple of days. Y'all are gonna have to help me out with this because Kimmy wants to reach way back by saying that it was disrespectful for what transpired because they filmed with Melanie in her backyard for nothing because Melanie wanted to pursue a reality show. The same reality show y'all asses have been sitting on for the past 7 seasons. Kimmy, you didn't have to be a part of it. Was there a pow pow to your head about how you had to come on the show when Melody presented the idea to you? Because who reached out to who to get this opportunity? Melody was reached out. Melody was the one who paid for the consultation with Carlos to see about pursuing a reality show. So it was her idea to invite y'all ungrateful asses to be part of a sizzle reel. And when the show got picked up, boom, bam, pow, here we are. How many seasons later, Love Marriage Huntsville? All because of who? All because of Mel. She gave y'all the opportunity to be a part of the show that y'all didn't have to accept. And whose idea was it to have a girls trip? Not yours. It was Melody. She had the idea of doing a girls trip. Do you not know how excited your ass got when you knew where you were going? You didn't put no end on going to St. Thomas. You didn't talk to Carlos. You didn't talk to no production company. Melody did. Did you have any other ideas of what to bring on the show? Was that all Melody? So for me, I'm having a hard time understanding of you feeling a way about the room situation when you've been blessed to being a part of this reality show. You want to know what else is disrespectful though, Kimmy? You had nothing going on this season, but you decided to be messy and involve yourself in everybody else's situation. But when your husband got caught with a DUI, you did not want to talk about it. But you chose to use the opportunity that Mel gave you to blame her for being mad about her having conversations, being mad about insinuating what he might have been doing, how reckless he was for driving under the influence. All because you felt like you didn't get treated well in the St. Thomas trip? Did you make it make sense that you saying it was disrespectful with the way you guys got treated in St. Thomas for this fucking room to say it was because we filmed in her backyard for nothing? If it wasn't for you filming in her backyard for nothing, you wouldn't be here getting paid to not do a fucking thing, getting paid to just skate by, not have storylines, being messy in everybody else's situation, suffering, having uncomfortable sex with your fucking husband while he was very much treating you not respectfully throughout your cancer journey. Like, I had such high hopes for you from season 1 until now. And now looking back on how season 1 transpired, you never really liked Melody in the beginning. You never fucked with Mel. You never saw it from Mel. It definitely grinded your gears that she was the one who presented this to you. It was about her that brought y'all here. It was all due to her that brought y'all here. And y'all just could not accept it. Y'all couldn't accept it. Y'all couldn't have been thankful for it. Y'all decided to show y'all asses and say it's all because of Mel. But if it wasn't for Mel, you wouldn't be here. Anyway, let me move on. Kimmy is backpedaling for saying that she was caught in the crossfires of what was going to occur between Tisha and Destiny and Mel. No, Kim, you weren't caught in the crossfire. I think you wanted to be in the crossfire because you were very much aware about Tisha inviting Destiny, because you guys have been aware of the history between Melody and Destiny. You were aware of what Tisha was going to do on the girls trip, how asking Trish about Martell. You were very much aware of what was going to occur at that girls trip that has nothing to do with the rooms. You weren't caught in the crossfire. You were in the crossfire. Make it make sense. I wish I would have been more dived into that because it didn't make any sense as to why they were so mad about a damn room, because y'all still had a great time. Make it make sense. Now we get to the Jesus comment that Nell read entirely wrong, looking for a way to jump on the bandwagon about how Mel is acting better than everybody, and she thinks herself as a god because she got this huge fan base, and now she's comparing herself to Jesus, which was not the case at all. I needed for that whole conversation to be presented. Y'all are literally just pulling things out of context and not explaining the whole story. Now, Miss Nell did say it, but the comment was made by Mel when she was discussing how sometimes people you can't trust, and how people who you thought you could trust have always looked for ways to betray you again once you just had to give it another chance. That's what she said. Miss Nell acted like Mel is comparing herself to Jesus. That's not what she was doing. And Nell said it was a joke. Okay, if it was a joke, it was a joke. But Miss Nell meant it. So it wasn't a joke, Miss Nell. You meant it. You said that her head got blown up and how she's the queen bee and how everybody needs to bow down. This is her platform. Well, it is her platform. But she's not the main queen bee. Everybody's a queen in their own right, a queen of their own kingdom. But Melody did just win an award for being the reality TV queen. So bow down, bitches. Um, but then we get to where Nell gets called out for acting like this is Melody shit. We all need to play our role. We all need to do our part, fall in line, respect the fact this is Mel shit. Even with Mel reenacting Nell. Oh my God, this is Mel shit, Mel shit. Everybody needs to fall in line. Y'all know y'all place, stay in y'all place, stay in y'all lane. Absolutely, Melody. Absolutely. When she said that, Nell couldn't say shit. So we're not going to act like Mel has been treating y'all like y'all are beneath her, like she has not viewed y'all as equals. But when y'all try to make it seem as if y'all are want to take over her spot when she was the one who brought y'all in this shit, she is the HBIC in charge of this shit, show y'all respect. That's all that was. But at the end of the day, it wasn't even something that should have been that big of a deal because everybody's head has gotten big while being on this show. Everybody's head has gotten big. Yours too, Neil. So again, Miss Nell is still going back and forth with believing that all of this fame has gone to Melody's head, that she does not show respect and show honor and courtesy to people who has been there for her before she got to this level. Y'all keep on forgetting that Mel was already that girl before she became a reality star. She was already on magazine covers. She was already receiving awards for being a public speaker. She was already doing that. She was already doing the damn thing before she got here. But at the end of the day, Miss Nell want to still use this moment to say, I felt the way that she downplayed the times that I was there for her, Martell, how I mentored her. I was Melody. When she was sliding down in that chair, bringing up the mentor thing again, I'm like, Miss Nell, please let this mentor thing go. Like, I'm not doing this with you again. I'm not, okay? Because wanting to know that Melody wanted Melody to know that she has been there for her and that she has said, you good, you good. I know I mentored Martell and you way more than you have mentored me, or the part where she says she has been there for her and Martell. Melody asked her, have I done the same for you, Miss Nell? Now, Miss Nell want to get defensive and say, so that's what you do. Okay, you cut me off. But she's not dismissing you, Miss Nell. She's asking you a question. I want to know because I don't want to make it seem as if it's been a one-sided situation. You've been there for me and I have not been there for you. She said, you have been there for me. I've called you about Martell once before. I feel like that's a lie. I feel like you have confided in Mel multiple things. And I feel like the main person you have been confiding in her about is Martell. It's definitely given Miss Nell, you have leaned on to Mel as well as she's leaned on you at times. So there's been an even exchange about Miss Nell and Mel being there for one another, checking in for one another. But Miss Nell wants to have this high recognition that she was there for majority of the time for Mel when it came out to Martell. I need for her to let that go. I said it before in my last review. Please let it go. If you're stuck and only wanting recognition that you were there for her at the time she was going through her marriage, then you have not been there for her. Now, when it came down to Melody saying, Miss Nell, I appreciate you. I do. Kimmy wanted to chime in. Think that this is another time for her to give her opinion about how Mel don't like to receive other people's feelings. And Melody shut her down. Like, no, hold on, Kimmy. I want Miss Nell to hear me. And Kimmy did exactly that. Kimmy shut down, knew that she didn't have a leg to stand on, knew this was not her time nor her place to involve herself in a conversation that she is not included in. This is Melody and Miss Nell's conversation. This is about their relationship. You're not involved. See yourself out of it, please. She said, Miss Nell, I appreciate you. Now, I know back when I told you that I have God, I have my mom, I have my kids, and that's okay for me, I hate that offended you. But I'm telling you right now, I have been appreciative of you, Miss Nell. I have been thankful for you. And I appreciate you being there for me. And they were like, oh, well, that's good. Yay. And that's it. But it's like knowing that you've already had this apology before, Miss Nell, and that she apologized again. It's like you really didn't have no issue, but you wanted to make an issue because you just want to have a moment to just come at Mel. That's what everybody else like to do. reenact an issue that has already been addressed and resolved to act like y'all don't want resolved just to have an issue. I'm not doing this with y'all. I'm really not. So now we're discussing Melody and Destiny's time in St. Thomas and how this was their first time being around one another in a very long time, and how it could have been a possibility for them to move forward to be cordial. But knowing Destiny, she fucked all that up. Right when we get to her at the top of the stairs crying to Mel, saying, "I'm sorry, I love you." Is that opportunity still on the table? No. Melody said that opportunity was left in St. Thomas. Now, it got to be chopped and edited, because right after that, Destiny want to now bring up another narrative of her coming on too strong, her moving too fast with other ladies. It's almost giving stalker vibes, and she don't like this narrative of her being painted being a needy, clingy person. That's because you are a needy and clingy person, Destiny. Let's go back to your time on the show when you wanted to beg Mel to be a part of your village. You used her moment to make it about you. And all the while the time you've been off this show, you've been talking about her every chance you get. Now back on the show, she's the first person you mention. Make it make sense. You cannot blame Mel for the way you displayed yourself on the show. Here you are again arguing back and forth with her, wanting a moment, missing the relationship, wanting her to accept your apology, but you're not giving valid reason for your apology. You're smacking her on the ass. You're finding ways to sit next to her. If it's not sitting next to her, you want to sit across from her. You told Stormy to switch seats with you. Everybody called it. Kimmy and Sonny called it. If you're contradictory of, you accuse this person of grooming you, but yet you're looking for ways of being around this person. How are you wanting to be back friends with someone you claim groomed you? Yes, I owe y'all a commentary on that, because this is crazy as hell. Destiny is a walking contradictory. She is dangerous. She is crazy. She is delusional. She is nobody's friend, and she is not to be trusted. Ugh. So now we're going back and forth with, you were texting me notes, you were telling me this, how do I think about this, what I think about this, because Melody is literally like, you're doing too much right now. Melody was responding to you asking her questions while filming a scene. You're texting her on the low, wanting to know what she feels about this. Did you hear about this? What you think about this? Girl, how are you trying to complain about how you don't like being painted a needy person when you're displaying a needy person? While they're going back and forth, because Destiny want to be the loudest one of them all, over talking Mel, not giving Mel the opportunity to explain what she means, and y'all gonna have to make it make sense for me. Like, why aren't we talking about other times that Destiny did the fucking most when she was in this argumentative space with Mel and Sonny, mind you? We really gonna not give Destiny the actual tongue lashing that she needs, how the way she displayed herself this past season? We're not gonna talk about it? Because she definitely deserves to be questioned with the way she behaved this season, with her lying about how everything went down with her and Moses, her trying to make it seem as if her and Sonny were friends when they weren't friends. The whole thing about how she is still upset over Mel and this one-sided friendship. Like, there is so much that we could have talked about with Destiny that y'all just let it go. Like, we are not doing this, y'all. What is the problem? This is someone who paid your fucking bills. This is someone who helped watch your child. This is someone who's done a lot for you. And you claim she was trying to groom you? You claim you were afraid to spend out of her house? She was doing things that was making you nervous? What? You calling her a master manipulator and a narcissist, but yet she's the one who's done the most for you. And this is how you repay her? By making these horrendous accusations and claims about her that you don't have any merit, you don't have any actual evidence to back up. You're just saying it because you just want to say it. Make it make sense. Destiny is crazy as fuck. She's weird. This is giving single black female. Okay? Oh my God. There will be no resolve between Destiny and Mel. And I'm really pissed off that Carlos never told Destiny to give Millie the floor. And why are we not talking about the other times that Destiny did the most? Why aren't we talking about how she acted a fool at Nell's bachelorette party? Why aren't we talking about how messy she was at the field day event? Why aren't we talking about that? Why are y'all giving Destiny grace of not getting questioned, not getting her ass handed to her about the things she said and done throughout the entire duration of this season? Why? Make it make sense. There was more we could have talked about on how Destiny's antics and behavior should have been addressed this season, but we didn't talk about that. Why? So It's up and it's stuck for here between Melody and Destiny, okay? It's giving Cardi B. If a girl got beef for me, a girl got beef for me forever, okay? So death do us part. We ain't gonna be friends. We never gonna be cool. We are never gonna be nothing, okay? So now we move on to the end where we are presented our surprise guest. Wonder who the surprise guest will be. Martell thought it would be Melody's boyfriend. She said, "You don't know who my boyfriend is, and you will never know." Melody thought it was Lance because it's an empty chair next to Destiny. Marcel thought it was Miss Wanda. God no. And lo and behold, it's Stormy. Stormy did look gorgeous. She did look amazing. And Stormy's storyline for this season was very, very short. It was all about her elevating on TikTok, talking about a surrogacy, and her escaping the ramifications of how she got involved into this legal situation with that content creator. And in the present time, Stormy is not pregnant, but she has identified a surrogate. Hopefully by next year, they will have a new addition to the family. She has not moved to LA because she's been so busy. She's been traveling back and forth to New York, to LA. I have seen Stormy's success. She has been everywhere. She's been receiving awards. I am very proud of Stormy. I've said it before. I advocate for her products. I am going to buy more. I just don't think that she was a good fit for this show, especially with the way she moved on this show was a bit questionable for me. And she has broken multiple records on TikTok. She has become the number one seller on TikTok in the United States. Shout out to her. And she did throw out how busy she has been. And when she was on the show, her getting arrested, her mom put in her ear that it was all because of a certain person is the reason why all these fans have been coming out at her. So it was the negativity and it was all the fans, certain fans, that pretty much made that decision for her to leave the show. But she says she loves the people, she loves the show. Here's my thing. Stormy left because she did not want to deal with the negative side of her business being presented on a major platform. Because Stormy was already dealing with negative responses from her business before she got on here, hence why she hired Kyle. But the way she handled her business with Kyle was also something that a lot of people took notice on. And I don't think she wanted to explain that. I think she wanted to handle that quietly. So I want Stormy to know that it wasn't because of the fans of the show. It's the reason why you decided to leave. You was already dealing with you, even though you still have a very successful, lucrative business. That's not taking that away from you. But don't make it seem as if you didn't have these problems before any of the fans of the show started to come after you. Let's not do that. And Courtney, he was not there because he is not for this show. He's not for any of this. He was only there to support Stormy. They ended up having a little memorial service for Keke. So they did acknowledge her passing. And we look back at her fun moments, her fun time she had with everybody. Stormy, Destiny, Mel, and Teacher were all crying. Okay, I got a bit emotional myself. And Tisha ended up having her own little memorial service for Keke, but I don't know why they didn't air it on the show. It would have been nice that y'all did acknowledge her passing. And Maurice was the most emotional out of everybody, and it very much surprised me with how much emotion he showed for Keke when he did not show this amount of emotion for Kimmy. And Carlos asked Tisha, how has everything been with her family? She said, I'm mostly concerned about her kids, but something is telling me that I don't know if Tisha has ever made amends with her kids or her husband or anybody else from her family. I don't know. Something's telling me she hasn't. I think she is just saying that she is going to be better for her and her kids. She is going to honor her memory. She is going to always be there. I think she's just saying that now because she has not said anything at all since her cousin's passing. And she also says because of the moment she had on the show, we didn't get a chance to see Keke and her have a positive relationship. We didn't get a chance to see the love they have for one another. To be honest though, Tisha, I don't want to kick you while you down, but I don't think you wanted us to see a positive side of Keke. I don't think you wanted us to see how wonderful she was, how she was a beacon of light. I think you wanted us to see her in a negative way. The way you, your husband, your mama honed in on her drug addiction, painting the narrative that she's still back on pills, how she's jealous of you, she wants your life, she wants to ruin your marriage, all that and then some. She's been gone since July. And your mom has been on her channel talking about her in every way, blaming everybody else for her passing, and has not hold herself accountable that she was a part of the way people presented Keke. And this is where I kind of lost respect for Tisha and Marcel with the way she allowed for Marcel to talk about her cousin in that way. Did y'all not see the way that Marcel was like a stone the rest of the reunion? He had nothing to say. He had nothing to add. He had no emotions. So it got revealed that Stormy was the one who paid for Keke's funeral. I didn't know that. We all know that Stormy and Keke developed a great relationship. I'm a bit sensitive with the way she handled Keke when it came down to a certain content creator. But do I believe that down the line they fixed their issues and have developed a stronger bond? Yes. And Stormy had discovered that they were struggling financially to pay for the funeral. And when she got in contact with Amin, it was like a blessing that it was already said and done. She was going to pay for the funeral. And she did it without any hesitation. And I do believe it was a sincere gesture for her to do it. I do believe that. Tisha thanked Stormy for doing that. It was very big of her. She didn't have to. She wasn't a family member of Keke. But the fact that she was able to do it without any hesitation because she loved Keke. And Tisha also said that it changed her perspective of how she saw Stormy. And for me, I'm like, what did you see in Stormy before that changed her perspective? In what way? Because I don't know why we didn't get a chance to clear up the issue Tisha had with Stormy. But I guess we didn't need to. And for me, just hearing how Stormy was asking around to find out what was going on, meaning that she cared. Tisha and Marceau didn't do that. Why didn't Tisha and Marceau kick in to pay for the funeral? That was your first cousin, your sister cousin that you said. And you and Marceau have bragged about being millionaires. This should have been no problem for y'all to kick in for the funeral because you loved her that much. But I have heard that they weren't really welcomed at the funeral because of what's been said and how their relationship has not been mended. So that's a testament to how y'all actually cared for Keke. If y'all didn't even want to just kick in and say, we got it. This is our way of asking for forgiveness of how things have transpired in our relationship. For someone who wanted to brag about being a millionaire on the show, and when it come down to your cousin passing, you not kicking in to help with the funeral cost. Says a lot about your character once that's being, presented. And Stormy, who barely knew Keke as long as y'all have known her, was able to do without any hesitation. Says a lot about her character as well. But Tisha used this as a moment to say, don't ever take the people you love for granted. Don't ever let the last thing you say to them be the last thing you ever see them. If there is a relationship you want to fix and you want to maintain, you fight for it. You fight to fix it. You still show love for one another. And that is a life lesson. Because life is short. You don't ever know when you're going to see your loved ones again. And you want to hold them on like they're still here. You want to still appreciate them and love them while they're still here. So rest in power, Keke. And that's how they closed the reunion with champagne. And they also celebrated Marcel's birthday. And that's the end of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Oh, that weighed heavily on me to finish. But that's it, y'all. I don't have nothing else to say. Please stay tuned for the next view, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.